Have you ever felt like you're just guessing your way through life? Trying to make the right choices, hoping you're not missing something important. Wishing just once for a voice to say, "Go this way. Trust this step, you're safe." If you've ever silently asked the heavens for a clear sign, drop a comment below and write, "I'm open to divine guidance." Because that quiet ache you've been carrying, the need to feel directed, protected, and seen, is not a weakness. It's the part of you that remembers you're not meant to walk this path alone. And today you'll learn how to receive clear daily guidance from the one who's been beside you all along, Archangel Michael. Why you've been struggling to hear guidance clearly. You've asked, you've prayed, you've lit candles, whispered intentions before bed, pulled angel cards, opened your journal, stared at the sky, and still, silence. Or maybe the answers come, but they're fleeting. Too quiet to trust, too vague to act on, too drowned out by everything else going on. And so you start to wonder, am I just making this up? Why do others seem so connected and I feel like I'm missing something? Do I have to do more, try harder, be more spiritual? You might scroll past videos or messages where others talk about signs from angels, about hearing guidance clearly every day, and feel that little ache inside. Why not me? But here's what no one tells you. It's not that the angels aren't speaking. It's that your world has become too loud to hear them. And it's not your fault, the invisible weight that blocks divine reception. You're carrying more than you realize. You carry the expectations of others. You carry the pressure to get it right. You carry the guilt of past mistakes. You carry the mental lists of what needs to be done, who needs your help, and how little space there is left for you. Your phone never stops. Your mind never rests. Your emotions rarely get a moment to be fully felt before they're tucked away so you can keep functioning. You're not broken, you're saturated. And like a radio station trying to tune into a signal, it's nearly impossible to hear the whisper of heaven through static. Your soul isn't disconnected, she's just crowded. A story, The Whisper in the Kitchen. There was a woman, steady, capable, thoughtful. The kind who remembered everyone's birthdays, who checked in when no one else did, who showed up even when her own energy was unraveling at the seams. Lately, she'd been whispering quiet prayers between tasks. "Please show me what to do. I feel lost. Just give me a sign. I want to trust, but I don't know what I'm doing anymore." She wanted guidance, not big, dramatic miracles, just direction, reassurance, a small light in the fog that had crept into her life. One morning, she got up early before everyone else. She wanted to feel ahead of the day, in control, productive, but her heart still felt heavy. The bills were still on the counter, the work was still waiting, and the answer she'd been praying for still hadn't come. She poured her coffee like always, but when she reached to grab the mug, she froze. Not from fear, from stillness. Everything went quiet, just for a breath. And in that breath, without warning, a sentence rose up in her awareness. "You already know, you just needed to slow down to hear it." No sound in the room, no voice booming from the ceiling. Just that clear, calming message that didn't feel like hers, but felt deeply, unmistakably true. She looked around the kitchen, just to make sure she was really alone. And then she felt it. A warmth, not heat, but presence. Like something loving had wrapped itself gently around her shoulders. For the first time in weeks, the tears she'd been holding finally fell. Not because she was scared, but because she remembered. She was never alone. She was never unheard. The guidance had always been there, but she hadn't stopped moving long enough to feel it. That moment changed everything. Not because all her problems disappeared, but because now she knew where to listen. What you're seeking is already whispering. You don't have to strain or beg for answers. You don't have to prove yourself spiritually. You don't have to earn your right to be guided. You simply need to come back to stillness. That's where Archangel Michael speaks. Not in the chaos, not in the pressure, not in the comparison, but in the breath between thoughts. The still moment after the prayer. The quiet nudge you almost ignored. He doesn't shout, he protects. He waits. And when you're ready, truly ready, to feel again, he whispers, why daily guidance is possible and actually meant for you. You weren't meant to stumble through your days hoping you don't miss your moment. You weren't designed to rely on guesswork while quietly asking, what if I make the wrong choice again? Daily guidance isn't reserved for the spiritually elite. It's not a rare gift granted to only a few. It's your inheritance. You came into this life with a divine support team. And at the front of that team is Archangel Michael. He doesn't just show up when things are falling apart. He walks with you through everything. The ordinary, the messy, the waiting. You don't have to beg for his attention. You don't have to earn his presence. You simply have to remember how to recognize the ways he's already communicating. Because he is. Right now, even in this moment, that recurring thought you've had to simplify your life, the nudge to reach out to someone you've been thinking about, that peaceful sense that you don't need to rush this decision. These are not random. They're spiritual breadcrumbs, subtle confirmations that your soul is still being guided, even when you feel unsure, even when life feels like it's paused in uncertainty. This is how heaven works. It doesn't always drop big miracles in your lap. It gently steers your heart in the direction of what was already meant for you. But you have to be willing to move with it, even when it feels small, even when it feels slow. Michael doesn't flood you with noise. He teaches you to trust the quiet. And when you begin to open to his presence daily, not just in emergencies, you'll find something remarkable happens. The confusion starts to lift. The anxiety begins to dissolve. The world doesn't change overnight, but the way you move through it does. Suddenly you know when to say yes. You feel it when you're meant to pause. You recognize divine timing instead of chasing the clock. Because guidance isn't just about knowing what to do, it's about knowing that you're not doing it alone. And once you start living like that, everything opens. 3 reasons you might not be receiving clear daily guidance. If you've longed for that kind of steady, reassuring direction, but still feel like you're left in the dark, you're not lost. You're not spiritually disconnected, and you're definitely not doing it wrong. There are just a few quiet reasons why the guidance isn't coming through clearly yet. And once you become aware of them, everything begins to shift. Let's gently uncover them together. 1. You're looking for something big, so you miss the small. You may be waiting for a voice to boom from the sky, a vivid dream that spells it all out, or a miracle that erases all your doubts in one flash of divine clarity. And while those things do happen sometimes, that's not the usual way heaven works. Angels often guide in whispers, not waves. Subtle, yet powerful. Soft, but steady. Michael in particular speaks in ways that feel calm and deeply familiar. A knowing that lands in your gut. A thought you didn't expect but brings peace. A repeated message showing up in books, songs, or someone else's words. The problem isn't that you're not being guided. It's that the message is so gentle you've been overlooking it, waiting for something louder. But what if the sign already came and you just didn't recognize it as divine? 2. You doubt it the moment it arrives. Let's say you feel a nudge, a quiet thought that says, don't go today. Take the next step. Rest. Just for now. Reach out. They need you. But almost instantly another voice cuts in. That's just me overthinking. I can't afford to follow that. It's probably nothing. That second voice, that's not divine. That's doubt. That's the part of you that's been conditioned to believe that intuition can't be trusted. But the first voice, the calm one, the one that wasn't frantic but felt safe and strong, that's often how Michael speaks. He doesn't force. He invites. And your job isn't to make it more dramatic, it's to honor the subtle. Because the more you trust the small voice, the louder and clearer it becomes. 3. Your energy field is overstimulated. This one runs deep. You're constantly absorbing noise, digitally, emotionally, spiritually. Notifications, news, the emotions of others, responsibilities that stretch you thin, an inner critic that never turns off. You may even feel like your mind never quiets long enough to hear anything beyond survival. When your energy is full of static, even the most divine message can feel like it's drifting just out of reach. That's not failure. It's overstimulation, and it's why spiritual stillness isn't a luxury for you. It's a lifeline. You need sacred moments every day, not hours, just moments, where your soul can breathe again, so that when the guidance comes, you're soft enough to feel it. Because clarity doesn't fight for your attention. It arrives when you create the space to receive it. The ways Michael speaks to you, daily, not just occasionally. One of the most powerful truths you can anchor into is this: Archangel Michael doesn't only show up in emergencies. He doesn't wait for you to fall apart before stepping in. He is with you on quiet mornings, on ordinary drives, on nights when nothing feels urgent but everything feels heavy. You don't need a crisis to receive divine support. You only need openness. And once you begin tuning in gently, consistently, you'll start to see that Michael speaks all the time. He just speaks in ways most people overlook. Let's explore how he often communicates with you, even now. Through sensations in your body, Michael's energy is protective, grounding, and strong, and it often shows up through your physical body. You might feel a warm pressure across your shoulders, a sudden deep breath, even when you weren't aware you were holding tension, a calm sense of safety in your chest, a tingling sensation or shift in temperature right after you ask for help. It's easy to dismiss these as coincidences, but when they're paired with peace, steadiness, or unexpected clarity, that's his presence, not intrusive, not jarring, just quietly entering the space around you and settling the space within you. Through your own thoughts, but clearer. Have you ever had a moment where a calm, clear sentence dropped into your mind out of nowhere? It didn't feel like worry, it didn't feel like fear, it felt true. You don't have to rush this, say no, you're allowed to. It's safe to rest right now. These are not just your thoughts. They're answers rising through your intuition, nudged forward by Michael. He often speaks through your own inner voice, but it comes with a sense of wisdom, safety, and calm that feels slightly separate from your normal mind chatter. You'll know it by the peace it brings. Even if it's guiding you towards something hard, there's a stillness to it. That's how you know it's not fear. It's divine guidance. Through repeating patterns and symbols, Michael also sends messages through repetition because he knows you might not catch it the first time. Have you seen the number 111 or 911 more than once in a day? Feathers, especially dark blue or white ones, showing up unexpectedly? Swords, shields, or images of protection? The name Michael in books, emails, or conversations? These aren't coincidences, they are confirmations. Michael uses symbols you recognize and feel drawn to, and he'll send them over and over until your spirit whispers, "Okay, I see it now." That's the beauty of divine guidance. It's not impatient. It repeats gently until you're ready to receive, through your energy shifting when you need it most. Have you ever been spiraling in anxiety, grief, or confusion? And then, without explanation, something softens? Your breath steadies, your chest loosens, your tears stop, not because the pain is gone, but because something inside you knows it's going to be okay. That is Michael. He doesn't always change the situation immediately, but he always shifts your energy so you can walk through it stronger. And that's the miracle. Not that the storm disappears, but that you don't have to face it alone anymore. How to open yourself to Michael's guidance every day. Now that you know how Archangel Michael speaks, the next step is learning how to consistently open yourself to his guidance, not just during spiritual highs, not just when you're feeling grounded, but every day, even on days when you're overwhelmed, even when you're second-guessing yourself, even when your spirit feels quieter than usual. Receiving guidance is not about being perfect, it's about being present. Let's walk through a simple sacred process to help you connect daily. You don't need hours. You don't need incense or rituals, unless they help. You just need willingness and a few minutes of intention. Step 1. Begin with stillness, not strategy. Start your day or pause midday with just a few quiet breaths. You don't need to clear your mind. You just need to stop feeding it for a moment. Sit quietly. No distractions. No performance. Let your body settle. Let your mind unclench. In this stillness, imagine you are setting the table for a divine guest. You are not demanding answers. You are creating room for a presence to arrive. Step 2. Ask one clear, specific question. Michael doesn't need long prayers. He responds powerfully to clarity. Here are a few examples of questions that open a strong channel. Michael, what do I need to focus on today? What step would bring peace right now? Where do I need to be brave? Is this choice aligned with my highest good? Write it down, or speak it aloud if that feels better. Let your request rise without pressure. You're not forcing guidance to come, you're inviting it. Step 3. Release the need for immediate response. This is where many get stuck. You ask for guidance and wait for lightning. But daily guidance doesn't always land in the moment. Sometimes it comes in the conversation you overhear later, the email that appears unexpectedly, the line in a book that stops you mid-sentence. So once you ask, let go. Trust that your angels heard you. Trust that the answer is already making its way into your awareness. And when it comes, you'll know. It will feel like recognition, not Step 4. Stay open to nudges throughout the day. Michael often responds in motion. As you go about your day, stay soft inside. Watch for sudden clarity, a shift in energy, a peaceful knowing that settles without effort. Repeating numbers or phrases, a feeling of being gently guided rather than pushed. Guidance, especially from Michael, often feels like courage you didn't know you had. You may find yourself taking a small action without overthinking, just knowing it's the right step. That's the whisper you've been asking for. Step 5. Reflect and give thanks. At the end of the day, take a moment to acknowledge any signs, shifts, or nudges you noticed, even the small ones. Thank Michael for his presence, whether or not you fully understood the guidance yet. This act of gratitude is not just spiritual politeness. It reaffirms the connection. The more you acknowledge it, the stronger and clearer it becomes. Because what you honor expands. The daily support that makes Michael's guidance clearer and stronger. Imagine waking up each day and not feeling alone. Not feeling like you have to figure everything out on your own. Not carrying the weight of every decision, every outcome, every unknown. Imagine moving through your life with a quiet but unshakable knowing. I'm protected. I'm guided. I'm not lost. This isn't wishful thinking. This is what happens when you stop trying to guess your way forward and instead begin your days with divine guidance already built in. There is a sacred space, one that was created just for you, a way to deepen your connection with Archangel Michael, so his whispers don't feel faint or fleeting, but steady, strong, and clear, not once in a while, every single day. This isn't another spiritual routine. It's a loving support system that helps you feel Michael's presence the moment you wake, anchors you into peace when anxiety creeps in, opens your intuitive channel to receive the guidance meant for that day, keeps you aligned when your energy feels scattered, brings divine clarity into the smallest and biggest decisions you face. Because you weren't meant to carry your life in pieces. You were meant to walk it with presence, peace, and protection. And that's what this experience offers you. Your next step is here. You've already felt the pull. You know the connection is real. And now, all that's left is to choose the tool that will help you stay in alignment, not just visit it. If your soul is saying yes, if you're ready to receive clear, consistent guidance from Archangel Michael, if you want the kind of peace that doesn't disappear when life gets loud, click the link below to step into Celestial Whispers and receive your daily divine guidance. You don't need to figure everything out. You don't need to do this alone. You just need to listen to the whisper that's already rising inside you. That's not just your intuition. That's Michael reaching for your hand. And before you go, leave a comment and say, "I'm ready to walk with divine guidance." Let that be your soul's declaration. Because once you say yes from the heart, everything begins to shift.